Do you avoid having the difficult conversations with your spouse? Hey, I'm Sharon Pope. I am a love and relationship coach for women that are struggling in disconnected marriages and trying to figure out whether they should stay or if the only answer is to go. Now today we're going to be talking about how to have those difficult conversations with your partner. And if you like this channel and you like this content, I would love for you to subscribe to the channel because I'm always coming out with new content that can help you get the clarity that you need for your own marriage. Okay, so today we're talking about having the difficult conversations. You know those dreaded 4 words, we need to talk. No one likes to be on the receiving end of those 4 words. It almost like takes you back to when you were a kid and your mother starts, wagging her finger at you. Like you're in trouble when you hear the words, we need to talk. So here's the problem with that, is that when you go to your partner and you really do have something that you need to talk about, but you say those 4 words, immediately their defenses go up. And so they're not really going to be able to hear you. So that is not a good way to enter into a really difficult conversation. Now, we could do a whole training program on how to have really difficult conversations with your partner, but I want to give you at least 4 tips on how to move through difficult conversations so that you can feel a little bit more equipped to navigate that and you don't continue to avoid the very things that you really should be talking about in your relationship. Now, preparation up front is going to make or break this conversation. You've got to get clear up front about what is it that you want to accomplish in this conversation. I also think you should ask yourself, when this conversation is complete, how do I want to feel at the end of it? That way you sort of set the intention in mind before you ever step into that conversation. So if you do some prep work up front for you to get really clear, not just about what it is that you want to say, which is what most people spend all their preparation time on, is what is it that I want to say to my partner? But that's talking at someone. It's not having a conversation, right? So spend the time up front just getting clear about, this is what I want to accomplish. This is how I want to feel when it's done. And then you can move through the 4 steps. So let me give you the first step. The very first step is not you talking. I know you probably don't like that answer. The first step of having a very difficult conversation with someone is you allow the other person to speak first. Then you are listening the entire time. And you're curious, you're genuinely curious about understanding their perspective. Because here's the thing, this is your partner. You said till death do you part to that person. So there clearly was something there that you wanted, that you thought was valuable and worthy. So try to understand his or her perspective. Let them talk, because you cannot share your perspective until they feel heard. Right? So let them share their perspective on whatever topic it is that you're discussing. The second piece is make sure that they feel heard by acknowledging what you've heard them say. So a really easy way to say this is, okay, so let me make sure that I'm understanding you correctly. What I heard you say is, and then you repeat it. Or as they're sharing with you, you could say, that sounds really important to you. Is it? Those are the things that really make people feel valued and heard. When your partner is complete with their perspective, the third step is when you get to share your perspective. Now, let's say your partner just spoke for an hour. This does not mean that now you have to sit there and listen to me for an hour. I listen to you, so no, this is not what this is about. This is not about equal time. Because the reality is you just got a lot of information from your partner about what's important to them and what they care about on this particular issue that you're discussing. So now you're much, much closer to being able to come up with a solution. So you probably don't need an hour. And besides, it's not about sit there and listen to me because I did it to you. It's about working towards a solution. So the third step is where you do get to share your perspective. But don't sweat the whole like equal time thing, because that very well may not happen and may not even be necessary. The last piece is that's when you start working towards solutions together. First, ask them what their ideas are on how you could be doing this differently or how you could be doing this better. And then whatever they say, take that and build upon it and come up with new solutions and new ways to solve this problem that you're talking about between the two of you. So instead of "we need to talk," a better phrase might be something like, "I'd like to talk to you about this particular topic, but first I want to hear your perspective on it." So for instance, "I'd like to talk to you about what happened with the kids the other day, but first I do want to hear your perspective on it." When you start a conversation like that, no one's defenses are up. They're sort of leaning into the conversation and they're going to be very open with you. So your on-ramp to difficult conversations is really, really important, because that's going to dictate the tone of the rest of the conversation. Now, if this was helpful for you and you like the content on this channel that helps you in your relationships, in your most important, most intimate relationships, then I would love for you to subscribe to the channel. And also don't forget to ring the bell, because then you'll get notified every time I upload a new video. Take good care.